My name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to me jumping on a hype train. I bought the first 5 books in the Percy Jackson series from a thrift store so long ago because they were $2 each, and why not? And I've heard a lot about the things that Rick Riordan has done for diversity in publishing, and I've read books from his imprint, and so I knew eventually that I was probably going to get around to these. I have even read the first in the Magnus Chase series, and that's when I discovered that these books are super satirical, and I love it. And like, why does no one play up the satirical aspects? I do believe I've seen the movie also at some point, but it was on TV and I wasn't really paying attention, but also that's like bad and don't pay attention to it. But with the recent announcement that yet another nostalgic thing is coming to us in the year 2020, there will be a Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus, and Uncle Rick is directly involved, so I think it's finally time to jump into these. Now, I'm not going to read all 5 of these in this vlog, but I do want to read more of my used bookstore purchases because once it is safe to go shopping at used bookstores again, I am probably going to go ham. So I will start off with this one for right now, and I'm hoping that I love them as much as everyone else seems to. Because, you know, sometimes I do just want to jump on a hype train and see what all the nonsense is about, and I like what the author is doing with these ones. He seems to be the least problematic of a lot of the big nostalgia authors, so let's go. So I have officially finished the first 30 pages in The Lightning Thief. I probably won't be doing that regularly of updates, but I thought I'd stop in. And the problem right now is that I already know all of the big reveals because of watching the movie. Like, I know who Grover is. I know who is it Banner? Like, I know the gist of who they are, so it's not really oh gosh, what's coming next? Like, I generally know. So I got that. Although I don't remember anything in the movie about him being like slated for death at the end of 6th grade. So that's interesting. It's not, this book doesn't have as much character as Magnus Chase did, and it makes sense. Magnus Chase was a lot later in Rick Riordan's writing career, but it doesn't feel as satirical to me yet, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I can definitely see the likeness in the characters. Rick Riordan loves him some delinquent boys for his protagonists, but I don't mind it. So I'll do some more reading tonight. This reads, again, really fast, so I don't foresee this taking me more than a couple days, and I've been on a roll reading lately, so I want to keep that up. And who knows, maybe I'll end up jumping right into the sequel. It's too soon to tell. So I got to page 60, and that's where I'm going to call it tonight. But, you know, for starting a new book, it reads pretty quickly. The fun part is that it was kind of life imitating art, because while I was reading the section with the big, like, storm and the Minotaur and all the fight, there's a huge storm going on outside. So, like, I'm reading about a storm and hearing thunder, and so it was kind of a fun, like, I don't know, surround sound experience. But I'm going to call it here. It's getting pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm like totally attached yet, but I'm hoping that some more of the satirical elements will come out, or else Magnus Chase might end up being my preferred Riordan series. I don't know, but I will check in with you again in the morning and see how I feel then. It is a new day, but I am back to reading, and I've just realized how quickly this reads because I sat down to read for 20 minutes, set a timer, and I read like 46 pages in that time, and my average is like a page and a half a minute, and that's over 2 times. So definitely quick. It might also be because the pages are really like wide. I'm kind of annoyed that no one's telling him anything at Camp Half-Blood. Like, y'all couldn't, like, you really needed to be that vague about everything just for funsies. But I'm liking the setup so far. We have met Annabeth, and I already know that she's nothing like the movie showed her to be, so I understand the frustration with that. But in general, I'm just really waiting for things to pick up and be explained, and really annoyed that it's taking a while. But beyond that, it's looking good. Happy to keep reading, especially when it reads this fast. I could be over halfway done easily by the end of today, if not farther. So I will check in with you in a while. Hello, quick aside here. but I just realized that this book, the original story, not this copy, was published in 2005. And I was 12 in 2005, so I would have literally been exactly the age for this. And I was thinking, like, why did this never occur to me to pick this up? But then I realized it's because it was a new release. And that's kind of one of the things everyone talks about, how, oh, well, this book was published in this year. How did you not read it as a kid? I was from a lower income family. We didn't buy new books a lot of the time. We did use books or libraries or library sales. So, like, it's kind of sad that once upon a time I could have been an OG stan of this from middle school, but it wasn't a thing that my family did. And if the book was popular enough, it was never in the library. So a quick note for everyone that's like, well, it was published in this year. How did you not read it? There's a lot of things that can be barriers to people keeping up with modern day book reading, so let's keep that in mind. So I am at page 150 or thereabouts. They are just about to begin the quest to find the thing, and I just think it's funny that, like, all of the children of the gods are basically ruled by eugenics, in that they all have the same interests and personality types as their parents, even though they've, like, never met them. They're lucky if they even, like, have gotten, like, a quick sign from them that this is the kid you are. So that's amusing to me, although it's also pretty basic. This entire story in general so far is interesting, but again, very basic. And I'm wondering if this is one of those things where as it continues, it gets more in depth and better, because people are, like, name dropping, oh, I can't wait to see this character in the adaptation, and said character has not been introduced yet. So I'm starting to think that this is maybe just a case of things improve as the writing improves, because again, I have read Magnus Chase, the first one, and that one was really in depth and things were taken in interesting ways. So this might just be, I start with the bare basics and move up to the more interesting satirical stuff, because really, I really want more satire, because that's what I was hoping for after reading Magnus Chase. But if that's in the future, I'm willing to keep reading to get there, because this is, again, very quick read. If I'm really on top of things, I could probably have this finished by tomorrow night. Let's see. All right, I am officially halfway through, actually over halfway through, about 190, and we've just gotten past Medusa's lair. And if I remember correctly from the movie, it's a little bit different. I think there was, like, other mortal randos that got turned to stone, but I can't remember. And I do remember the big twist. Like, I know who's gonna betray them, so that's kind of, gone as a surprise. But I always knew that this is probably going to be the book to start the series and then be surprised and entranced later on. So far, I'm enjoying it. Always love a good angry, we're annoyed at each other, but also not. Also still annoyed at Annabeth being like, I have to dislike you because our parents dislike each other. Again, going with that eugenics thing, but obviously I know that, like, things turn around. So I've heard a lot about a kiss underwater apparently is a big deal. But regardless, I am definitely going to be able to finish this by the end of tomorrow, and then I'll have the first book read. Maybe I'll jump right into the next one. But if I did that, I don't know that I'd include it here because that would be a really long video. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'm rethinking some of the fantasies I've had with where I decide what god I would be the child of, just in general, like not related to the series. Demeter, if you're wondering. So I'll have to see how Demeter offspring me and my daydreams would fit into this world. And I'm excited for it. So I will talk to you in a bit. All right, I have another 50 pages of The Lightning Thief read, and the introduction of Ares, the god of war, and the whole scene in the old water park. And it was really fun. Still doesn't have quite the same satirical take that Magnus Chase does. Yeah, Ares is a cool biker dude with flaming eyes. Awesome. But I don't know, it feels like it's still taking itself a lot more seriously than Magnus Chase did. But Percy's a very lovable character, and I appreciate that a lot. But I think this is probably going to be one of those book series where I kind of just, like, read through this one to get to the other ones because I know it gets better, and I don't do that, usually. I will usually stop if the book is whatever, But I do like certain parts of it. It's just not quite as satirical as I was hoping for. And of course, we still got all the big things coming up. And maybe it'll also help in future books if, I don't already know all of the spoilers. But we'll keep reading, and I will check in with you in a bit. So I've just reached almost to page 300. We have done the Lotus Casino, and they're currently walking into Hades. The thing is that I think I finally remember something from the video or the movie, was that, like, finding the 3 pearls to get into the underworld was, like, a big plot point. Like, they had to find all 3 of those before they could get to the underworld, and that's kind of how they ended up in that situation. And honestly, and people might hate me for this, that's kind of a better plot setup than this one. In this one, they're just traveling and they just tend to haphazardly stumble into things, as opposed to beating the mid-level boss gets you the reward type of thing. And I think, I prefer that one more. And I know that you're not supposed to, like, praise the movie at all or prefer the movie at all, because whatever, but in general, it's okay. I still think we're sitting at a 3-star right now, to be honest. And I'm kind of sad about that. I'm really hoping other books will be more, but maybe, who knows? We're in the last, like, 75 pages, so a couple more big scenes in the big climactic ending. Maybe it'll get better. Can't be sure, but I will check in with you in a little bit. I have officially finished, and it takes a lot more turns than the movie did, because if I remember correctly, like, the big betrayal at the end led to Luke's death. So in this one, he's still alive, which honestly makes for a more compelling story, because now it's like, ooh, he's gonna come back. And so I really appreciated that. And also, was Kronos a thing in the movie? I don't remember. So I was right. The ending did save it. I think this is more of a 4-star, just barely scraping into a 4-star, but it was very interesting, and I am a big fan. Totally random side note, when Poseidon said, "Whatever you do, know that you are mine," I melted a little. It was so cute. I don't know that I am quite the diehard, like, wearing the shirts, picking my house yet. Who knows? Maybe the next books get better. I probably won't be jumping right into the next one, though, because all I can think about is how many review books I still have to read. So I'm going to say no to that one for now. But in general, I am really glad I read this. I have officially have the first one down, and I have the next 4 in the series in my possession already. So in general, if you haven't read this yet, I'm sorry I spoiled it for you. But decent read. And for everyone else that's like, oh, I guess I should finally read this now that everyone's, like, really happy about it. It is worth it. It's a quick read, and it's a cute read. It doesn't necessarily, like, redo the wheel. I did like that while he has a hero's quest, he's not a chosen one. He's more like a, haha, this problem has been dropped into your lap. Good luck. I appreciated that one. So at some point I'll be continuing. And in general, I also like that it has characters with both ADHD and dyslexia, and I know that, like, it's all explained away by their godliness, but, like, also, like, it shows you, like, what his brain thinks words are, and how Grover has to basically translate, like, words for him. So I appreciated that, and the ending was cute. Do I have anything else to say? No, I think that's it. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I don't know that I'll be doing a lot of videos like this. Like, I probably won't do, like, a reading vlog for every book in this series, but I might have more thoughts on them moving forward. So if you are a fan of this series, please feel free to subscribe. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.